Going on, everybody? I'm redoing this because when I was in my car, I guess I was losing signal. So I don't know what's up with that, like, or what. Like, I got a notification from YouTube, and like, I don't know. I got to look at it, but let me just redo this really quick. Okay. First of all, let me get this out of the way. For those that already heard this, I apologize. Although I'll be able to look at the chat a little more now. And I'll try to be a little short here. First of all, great fight. Let me just say that. And I'm going to keep this very short because I'm going to do a live tomorrow. But because I need to address a lot of you out there. And I will. Like the time to address you was going to... so, and it's going to happen now, but I just want a lot of you Wilder fans, not every Wilder fan, by the way, right? Not every single Wilder fan. So let me just be, you know what? I'm going to give my thoughts on the fight tomorrow. I thought it was an amazing fight, but let me say this, and I hope the people that need to see this are going to watch this, and I know you are, okay? You don't get to just move on. Like you don't get to just, well, yeah, great fight, guys, yep. You know what I mean? You don't just move on. There's consequences for the things you do and say. There's consequences. It's the way the world is, right? So you don't get to just move on. There will be a feast for crows. Right? You don't get to just move on. Like, you don't get to just say, woo, what a great fight, guys, man. Well, on to the next one. Like, you don't get to just say that, because we all know that wasn't the plan. We all know the plan was to start going after everyone who told you Glovegate wasn't real, to go after everyone who told you that it was all bullshit. Right? You don't get to just pretend you didn't make accusations of Fury, okay, committing a crime in the ring. You don't get to just pretend that that there's no way Fury can knock him out without cheating. You don't get to just pretend that some of the content creators out here were hoping that Sugar Hill, okay, got smacked over the head by Wilder. You don't get to just pretend that some of them were hoping Sugar Hill died in a car crash. You don't get to just move on from that. You made some serious accusations. You don't get to just move on from the fact that you were saying things like laughing about Fury being, like, going to the hospital getting seriously injured. You don't get to just pretend you weren't hoping, like, Fury wasn't rushed to the hospital tonight. You don't get to just pretend none of these things were done or said. Like, there was going to be a day of reckoning. What do you think was going to happen? A day of reckoning was coming. You don't get to just pretend and brush it all under the rug and, like, oh man, whoo, what a great fight, and just move on. You don't get to do that. I'm sorry. You just don't. I'm not just gonna forget about how some people made it racial with me. Like, that's it. You don't get to just move on from that. You don't get to just move on from the fact that you were in your echo chambers spewing some shit. All right? You don't get to just move on. Like, oh, he obviously cheated, so watch. Like, you don't get to move on from the fact that you make this a trial by combat. You made it a trial by combat. And since you decided to make it a trial by combat, Fury won the trial by combat. Now it's time for you to go to trial. Like, you don't get to just move on. You don't get to just, like, pretend like, woo! Like, I get that it was a great fight. And I will talk about that. I get all that. But you don't get to just move on. Like, you don't get to just do that. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to do the na boo-boo shit like that. I'm more about, you know, like, hey, there's consequences for the things you say. Man, a lot of you were big opportunists when it came to this. And it was extremely disappointing. Well, the opportunity has passed you by. The day of reckoning has come. What did you think was going to happen? Did you think you'd just pretend your way into believing that all these things were true and that it was obvious that Wilder was going to win? So, unfortunately, the previous video I felt like I very eloquently put how I felt about the fight. I'll give you guys the video tomorrow, okay? Like, I don't know what's up. Like YouTube sent me a notification and said the video was like, I don't know. It said something about the video not. I got to reread the email, but I don't know. I don't think it's a copyright. It was just me, right? So I don't know. Like, I don't know if somebody put a link in the chat they shouldn't have put. I don't know. I got to go back and review it. All right. Don't be putting links in my chats. All right. You could put your channel link, I guess, but you don't get to just move on, guys. Like, you don't get to make this experience uncomfortable for people that just want to talk boxing and then just move on. Don't you understand? You don't get to call you don't get to accuse people of being racist and certain people being coons and then just move on like nothing ever happened, like it's all good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, hey, the best man won. Let's move on. Well, I'm glad you're acknowledging that the best man won, but guess what? You don't just get to move on. Don't you understand this? Like, don't you understand that you're in the losing side? Like you don't get to decide. A lot of the disrespectful things, okay, that I could show you guys, comments that I received, right? Threats that I received over boxing. No, you don't get to just move on. Like, I'm just saying. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to be doing it, but it's going to be a lot of it in the coming weeks. Like, especially this weekend, throughout the week, okay? A lot of you are lucky that you were doing this to a lot of real boxing fans, because a lot of us are just going to move on and start talking about other fights. That's what we're going to do anyway, all right? But you're gonna have it coming. There's going to be a feast for crows. And I hope that Wilder, for everybody's sake, accepts this loss, okay? A part of me believes that the bronze that I was a fan of is still there somewhere. All right, but you don't get to just make all these accusations and hope that Wilder is put in a coma and say things like that, and Sugar Hill should die in a car crash. Like, you don't get to just say those things and then just move on like it's normal, because none of that is normal. All right, so a lot of you have it coming. I just want you to know that. Confidence you were speaking with, like you know for a fact he's gonna win. Well, it was all wrong. Okay. All the shit you were spewing and selling, okay? Like, now people know for a fact that you were selling wolf tickets, right? Now there's another segment of fans I want to talk to. The ones that didn't want to see this trilogy, okay? I have the receipts. I wanted to see the fight, okay? I felt the fight would be far more competitive than the second fight. Tell me I was wrong. I was wrong about it going decision. I was wrong about no knockdowns, and there was more knockdowns than ever. I'll eat my crow when it comes to that. Okay? A little bit of crow. But I knew it was going to be a great fight. I enjoyed this fight. Right? Props to both fighters for giving us a fight to remember. But the winners do write the history books. To the winner does go the spoils. In the history books, it will say Tyson Fury got the best of Deontay Wilder, and he was a better fighter than Deontay Wilder. I could live with that, right? I want to be a fan of Wilder's. I believe he could beat any other heavyweight on the planet. That's what I believe, all right? I still believe he could beat AJ. I still believe, I think him and Usyk is kind of 50-50, but I believe he has a better shot against Usyk than Fury, right? But this is over. I mean, I know I was joking on Twitter, best out of 7, that was the excitement of the fight, but it's over. Like, there's really no reason to continue this anymore. Like the war's over. Now we're in the aftermath, right? And I hope everyone understands that to the hardcore conspiracy theorist, for all the rude comments you were leaving, for all the shit you were saying behind the scenes, for all the crap you talked, it's not like over. You don't get to just like say, oh, wow, what a great fight, and move on. No, because the accusations you made still exist. All the comments, oh, you just watch when a trilogy comes, and all the things you were saying, oh, they're nervous, they know what's coming, oh, Fury's nervous, and all the times you were acting all confident that Fury's the one that's nervous, and all 3 fights, he got the best of them here and there, okay? You don't get to just move on. You don't get to just, as Logic said, just sweep it under the rug, and just because because you know what? A lot of you were humble and taking the loss great after the second fight. Right? And like thieves in the night, you just turned around and you just made it about something else. I was called racist because I didn't believe in Glovegate by some people. Like, you don't understand how ridiculous that is. And you expect people to just move on like if that's normal. That's not normal behavior, okay? So that's all I wanted to say. Shout out to the both fighters. Shout out to the fight. Look, I'm not saying I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to do some of it, but all I'll say is this: there's going to be some content creators like really giving it to you this weekend, and you're just going to have to take it. Like, it's just the way it is. And you're gonna have no power. You can't come back with some like pie in the sky shit. Like that's it. You lost. All right. So I'm already seeing the post. It's gonna be a feast for crows. All right. That's it. So this is DStyleBoxing. I'm out. Peace.